Rob Anderson Clean Power Wash, Salisbury, Maryland. One of the other things that I got out of classes, I took the growing from start to a successful business. The whole starting from scratch, which is what all of us have done. I mean, the vast majority of us didn't start off with the full trailer skid, proportioner, and booster, and 8-gallon a minute pressure pro, and all that stuff. The vast majority of us started with either a pump-up sprayer to clean roofs, or good old Home Depot, Lowe's machines. Lots of good stuff in that class. Certainly the importance of systems, the importance of growing that business to the point that you can bring on other people, learning and knowing how to advertise. Also, the guy was saying when you're slow, don't dump a whole bunch of money into advertising. I disagree. When you start to slow down, you do need to up your advertising. Early on, I always thought that July and August were going to be really dead, and nobody gets their stuff cleaned in August. It's not true. Plain and simple, just not true. We'll do 20 grand this August. Last year we did 12. Year before that we did 8. And it simply comes down to continuing to market in those slow times. And you also have to, again, be aware of when these things are happening. Like I said in the session, August happens every year. January, December, those, like Christmas, it comes every year. We know when it's going to be. There's going to be slow times. You're not going to have a lot of people calling you the week before Christmas and the week after. It's not going to happen unless it's a crazy last minute last minute job that they just all of a sudden realize their house is dirty and they're embarrassed by it finally. Really a point about knowing and understanding how to deal with basic troubleshooting. How can you take care of your equipment? And understanding a lot of it. I mean, let's be honest, most areas, unless you have your own mechanic, when you need to get something worked on, at least in my experience, it's usually been a couple weeks. The small engine repair shops, not trying to be mean or negative about them, but again, they need work to do. They gotta keep their guys busy. So it's not usually going to be same day service, let's get it fixed and you're back up out on the road the next day. So you need to be able to figure that kind of thing out. Like, why is it not starting? Why won't it run? It keeps cutting out. And there's plenty of posts, there's plenty of previous videos and things about all the possible things that you need to kind of work your way through. He got a little bit more in depth, which there's nothing wrong with that, but changing the coil in an engine, I still haven't done that. I've had 8 to 10 machines. I've had an employee who is a mechanic. He replaced the coils in one of them. But things like changing your spark plugs out, just the general maintenance, like you got to be able to check, your throttle, your carburetor, making sure you've got oil, both the engine and the pump. Sorry guys, we had breakfast Saturday morning at 7 with Dougie Doo. I don't think I slept well that night because I wanted to make sure I didn't oversleep. And then I've been up for all but like an hour this morning on the plane flight back, and certainly not been restful. Again, when you're growing your business, you've got to do anything and everything you can to continue to grow it. When seen lots of people have pointed out that if you're not busy, then that means you have time. What you do with that time is going to determine what happens with your business. Oh, the phone's not ringing. Well, I guess I'm gonna go fishing. Wrong answer. You can set it up and plan for that, and especially once you have employees, you can't just be like, we're slow, whatever, guys. Talk to multiple people that have actually set up planned vacations or planned, okay, these 3 days in August every year is a company quote-unquote retreat, or taking all their employees out to go whitewater rafting or on a boat trip or something just like, let's just go have fun, let's get rested, recharge, and then ready to kick September through December's butt. And I love it. I mean, I would rather, and to a degree, we end up doing usually a good bit of charity work in August, so that's where I get a lot of my write-offs, and a good bit of what we do as far as Facebook marketing is based off of the commercial and residential, just free cleaning things that we do, just to get that exposure. The other thing too, with employees, he was talking about, your first hire is really, really important. Yes, every hire is important, but also assuming that you're going to be able to find a rock star employee that is either A, not going to leave you, B, not going to become your competition. See that you actually found something like that. Kind of made it the last one. But I think too often people are actually looking for, if I just had this perfect employee, everything will be great. I can sit at home and work on the business instead of in the business. And it's true, but you're not going to find that early on. It's possible, but equate it to dating. I mean, we've all, it'd be safe to say that pretty much everybody's dated more people in their life than what they got married to. That really has to be true. And part of dating is finding, okay, well, this is something that I like, this is something I don't. You're gonna find out with employees, and a really good point that none of his people have had, none of the people that he's hired have had experience, with the exception of one who was fired within a week or 4 weeks or whatever. The other good points about paying them well. Because, he overpays his guys in the beginning. And it's a little bit contradictory or whatever that people, like, why would I pay you more money than what you're worth early on? And I get where he's come from. I mean, give people good money so that they are motivated to work hard and to stick around, because they've got that, not necessarily guaranteed money, but pretty well guaranteed money. For me, I like to start them out at $10 for the first day or first week, if they're still around, bump them to 12. I have a guy that started with me in March. He's making $15 an hour right now as my helper. My lead tech makes 18. I got other plans on his compensation, but giving them that money and overpaying them from time to time on bigger jobs. When we did the commercial work, gave him an extra $200. Made tons of money. And again, that goes back to some of the other videos, that commercial, you should end up with a higher overall profit amount. Percentages may may not be that way, but the overall profit is going to be a big chunk of change that you need to go do something with. Whether you're saving it, you're reinvesting it, it's a cool way to grow faster. He did do a lot of videos, or not lots of videos, but pictures and stuff of equipment, talking about upgrading equipment, and that to upgrade your equipment before you upgrade your workforce. You will get more done going from a 4 gallon a minute to a 5.5 or 8 than bringing on an employee who's also going to be using a 4 gallon a minute machine, or that's using that one 4 gallon a minute machine. And it's so true. I mean, houses that when we had lesser equipment, you know, would take us a half day or all day long. Now we're doing it in just a couple hours. And it's not just because we have more employees now, it's because of the equipment that we have and those cleaning systems. So, let's hope that helps, guys.